Hey, I'm Ben Greenfield. I'm an exercise physiologist and so-called biohacker. You're about to find out what I do for my personal sauna routine. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've no doubt heard of the benefits of a sauna, particularly a dry sauna. I say dry sauna because that's where the lion's share of the research has actually been done when it comes to some of the impressive health and longevity benefits of a sauna practice. I've visited Finland many times where I've taken a deep immersion into the sauna practices of the people who have probably been doing it the longest time. Seems like there's a sauna in every home in Finland, tens of thousands of saunas. And frankly, what research has found is that doing a sauna about 4 times a week has an impressive range of benefits, from decreased risk of Alzheimer's and dementia, to improved cardiovascular health, to decreased all-cause mortality. That means risk of dying from anything except maybe your sauna collapsing in on you. People talk until they're blue in the face, or I guess red in the face, about all the benefits of a sauna practice. But what I want to show you today is what I personally do in the sauna and give you hopefully some unique tips and tricks that you can use to make your sauna practice even more effective. Let's dive in. All right, before we even go into the sauna, let's talk about this. You may have seen people donning these elven-like, slightly nerdy, less than fashionable sauna hats, and it's not just for fashion. Now, I mentioned that sauna can decrease your risk of dementia, but here's the scary part. If your head gets hot, even as hot as your body, your risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, and neurological damage actually increases. By wearing a sauna hat, you achieve 2 things. You help to insulate your brain so it gets cooler and your body gets all the benefits of heat without your brain getting damaged. And the other thing that happens is if your brain gets hot, it will activate what's called your central governor. That will shut down your system, basically, for lack of a better scientific term, causing you to freak out and want to get out of the sauna. So by wearing a sauna hat, you protect your head, your brain, and you allow yourself to be able to stay in the sauna just a little bit longer to reap even more of the sauna benefits. All right, we're about to step into this dry sauna. All right, first let's talk about heat. Now the heat ranges quite a bit from sauna to sauna, and I mentioned infrared saunas earlier. I don't want to completely throw infrared saunas under the bus. I own one and I use it several times per week. The light that's used to heat your body in an infrared sauna penetrates deeply into your tissues, and that helps quite a bit with sweat and detoxification. However, to get a lot of the cardiovascular benefits, red blood cell production benefits, and heat shock protein benefits of a sauna, you do need access to a hot, dry sauna as well. So I implement both, but that's the reason that what I'm showing you today is my dry sauna protocol. The temperature of an infrared sauna typically ranges around 140 to up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, most of the research showing benefits in a dry sauna require the temperature to be around 200 to 215 degrees. Last thing I'll mention, and then we'll leave infrared behind, is that some people have said, well, why can't you get the best of both worlds? Why couldn't I lie in a sauna like this with near, mid, and far infrared along with red light? The reason for that is once the temperature of your sauna exceeds about 175 degrees, you actually don't get proper absorption of the wavelengths of that light. So if you were going to outfit a sauna, a dry sauna like this with red light, you would want to make sure that you do your red light sessions at a temperature of 175 degrees Fahrenheit or less. Another thing to think about in the sauna is that in my sauna, no phones are allowed to be out of airplane mode. You don't want to mix radio frequencies and heat. Now the research on this is sparse, but considering the fact that one of the reasons you're not supposed to hold your phone up to your head is because the heat from that phone can actually damage brain tissue, the idea of combining heat with even extra heat from the phone and radio frequencies bouncing around inside your sauna when you're supposed to be in a little bit more of a relaxed state is not a good idea. So what I do is I set my phone on the floor of the sauna in airplane mode or outside of the sauna. I'll put on the podcast, audiobook, or music that I want to listen to, and I just use a basic Amazon purchased heat resistant sauna friendly Bluetooth speaker. All right, so now let's dig into what a lot of you who are interested in the performance enhancing benefits of a sauna, the cardiovascular enhancing benefits of a sauna, or the heat shock protein production benefits of a sauna are very interested in, and that is moving around in your sauna. I remember when I first met Laird Hamilton, we did a sauna together, and he was literally riding an exercise bike with oven mitts on in his sauna. Later, when I was preparing for Ironman triathlon in hot locations like Hawaii, Thailand, Japan, all over the globe in these hot and humid conditions, often in September, October, November, or December in the inland Northwest, I would bring my bike into the sauna or do exercising in the sauna. Not the funnest thing to ride your bike for a couple of hours in the sauna, but moving around in the sauna, even if you don't drag a bike and oven mitts into your sauna, can really upregulate your body's ability to get hot. And research has actually shown that getting into a sauna after you finish a workout vastly amplifies the heat shock proteins that you naturally produce during the workout, and also increases the amount of erythropoietin, which are the precursors to red blood cells that your body already will make when you're exercising or when you're in a sauna, but your body really cranks them out if you get in the sauna after you work out. All right, so in addition to that, you can actually move in your sauna. I'm gonna show you some of the key exercises that I'll do in the sauna that even if your sauna isn't as large as this one, you can pull off. Now, if you do have chairs or benches in your sauna, you can remove them, you can fold them down, you can give yourself a little bit of an extra space to do some of these exercises. But let's get into some of the key moves that I do when I'm in my sauna. First, let's talk about lymph circulation. Your lymph travels throughout your entire body, but unlike your cardiovascular system, it does not have a pump like your heart. However, with mild touch to different areas of your body where there is a high concentration of lymph capillaries or lymph nodes, you can actually move lymph through your body to help out with your immune system health. All right, you start with your collarbones. What you do is rub above and below the collarbones. You'll do this for about 10 to 20 seconds. And once you've done that, you tap the collarbones. Now, if you're trying to hack time, you can do both at one time. Otherwise, you can do one side at a time, which is technically more effective, but I usually do both sides. Area number 2 is the side of your neck, right below your ears. You rub, 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 and then tap, 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 tap. Area number 3 is right about at the crease of your shoulders. Rub that just like you did the collarbone and behind the neck, and then tap, 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 tap. Area number 4 is the stomach. Rub the stomach clockwise, rub it counterclockwise, whichever way feels right, as long as you're applying a little bit of pressure. And then same thing, slap and tap the stomach. The groin, lymph node area right underneath here. Be careful so that your friends don't think you're doing anything dirty in the sauna. Basically, you're gonna hit that groin on either side of your body and then tap, 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 tap. And the final area, area number 6, is right behind the knees. Rub, 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 and tap, 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 tap. Now, once you've done all of that, it can help use G forces to help to move that lymph throughout the body, because remember, your heart doesn't serve as a pump for your lymphatic system. So for this, you can simply bounce, take a big breath in, and I'll do this for about 60 seconds after I've hit each of those sections that I just rubbed and tapped. But this particular sauna, which was built by Western Soul down in Boise, Idaho, is actually lined with these Himalayan salt rocks, which release ions into my sauna and help out even more with lung health. Exercise number 2 is any kind of hinging or squatting movement. 2 of my favorites. I'll simply put both hands either on the bench in front of me or on the counter in front of me. Both hands out, sit down nice and low, stretch out the chest, and stand up. Again, you could do, if you're really actually trying to work out in your sauna, many reps of a move like this. But a lot of times I'm in my sauna for the sweet spot. I didn't tell you what that is, but anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes is just fine if you're at 200, 250 degrees. Just remember, if you're trying to stay fertile, get some of those ice pack underwear, snowballs, or anything else that helps to keep your balls cool, because one thing that sauna has been shown to do, if you don't protect the testicles, is decrease fertility. So proceed with caution. Then the next move basically is, instead of hinging forward with the arms forward, I'll simply squat, come up to the top, twist to the right, twist to the left, squat, pop up, twist to the right, twist to the left. Those are a couple squatting or hinging motions that you can do. Next thing I'll do in the sauna is basically my bastardized version of flow yoga. For example, after I've done my squats, I'll get into a down dog position. I'll hold that, I'll shimmy the hips side to side. I'll come forward into a plank position. I'll drop down, pop up, activate the vagus nerve by looking over my left shoulder and then my right shoulder, and come back into a down dog position. and I'll do several repeats of a move like that. While I'm in this position, I can also do cat-cows. So extend and breathe in, and arch the back and breathe out. And I can also do alternate arm reaches or alternate leg kickouts back behind me, the same way that you might do in a yoga class or a Pilates class for mobility. So anything in a crawl or a down dog position is also really effective in the sauna. Now I'm going to tell you a quick story. There is lore about this group of Tibetan monks that do the same set of exercises every single morning, and these guys are supposed to have incredible vitality and lifespan. I don't know if there's anything to that story scientifically or epidemiologically, but I can tell you that each of the 5 exercises that they do are actually really a great fit for the sauna, and every time I do them, my energy levels go up, my mood goes up, I feel great when I get out of the sauna. So let's see what those exercises are. The first is any form of twisting or kind of like rotating the body. This is a perfect example. Kind of a Tai Chi-esque twisting as I slap the body up and down, kind of activating what are called some of the meridian points up and down my torso. You can see from the back, I'm hitting some areas along the kidneys, some areas along the lower organs, back up the body, up to the upper back, and that's move number 1. That's part of what are called the 5 Tibetan longevity rites. Number 2 is you can sit down into basically an L position and then extend your hips and come up into a bridge. Hold that bridge almost as though you have a quarter squeezed in between your butt cheeks. Take a deep breath in that position and then come back down into a seated position. Now, what they say is that for the Tibetan longevity rites, depending who you ask, you're supposed to do anywhere from 21 to 40 of each exercise, but I just do a handful of each until I feel pretty good. No deep science behind this protocol, but if you can crank out a few reps of each of these moves that I'm showing you, it's a great option. Exercise number 3 in the Tibetan longevity rites is basically a back bend. So you come into this position, you drop back, you can grab your heels, or I'll show you from the back here, you can actually put both hands on your butt and just lean back and come forward. For a more advanced version, you can put your hands on your heels, lean back and come forward and do a series of those. Exercise number 4 of the Tibetan longevity rites is basically a little bit of a V up. So for this, I'm gonna get down in this position, and all you do is you lift your heels and your chin off of the ground, come up, hold for 1 count, come back down. If you need a little bit more low back support, you can put your hands right underneath your butt, and again, come up, lift your toes, come back down, come up, lift your toes, come back down. And then the final move in the Tibetan longevity exercise series is the exact one that I showed you earlier. Just basically a down dog, inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale come up into a low back stretch, exhale and pop back. Okay, so next up, anything that involves some kind of proprioceptive awareness, right side, left side of the body. So this can involve, if you have a sauna that's high enough, bringing your arms up overhead, coming up, touching your right elbow to your left knee, your left elbow to your right knee, and you can just do basically a series of repeats of these. If the ceiling is lower, you can put your hands behind your head instead and simply do almost like a standing bicycle crunch. Again, touching right elbow to left knee, left elbow to right knee, just like so. Okay, the last set of moves that I want to show you are really great for activating some of the musculature that tends to be deactivated in a modern closed-toed footwear type of lifestyle, in which we're also sitting a lot with tight hip flexors and glutes that are turned off. So here's a couple moves that you can do to retrain those areas of the body. For this one, you're going to stand on one leg, you're going to grip the ground, especially focusing on your big toe, and all you're going to do is hinge at the hips while you push your opposite leg out behind you and then come up and drive that knee to your chest. So all I'm doing here is hinging and then driving. And the area where you'll feel this primarily are all these stabilizing muscles right here in the shin and the big toe, and also the stabilizing muscles on the external hip rotators right around what's called the gluteus medius area. And of course, you do a series of reps on this side and then a series of reps on this side. I like to do around 3 sets of 10 reps per side. Again, where I'm simply kicking a leg out and coming back up with my knee to my chest. The other way that you can do this is a little bit more of a quad stretch, which is great if you have tight hip flexors, which can contribute to back pain over time. So for this, I'll pull my heel up to my butt, and then I'll fold. I'll go as low to the ground as I can. If I want a little bit of extra visual proprioception, I'll turn my entire body. This one might look familiar for those of you who do things like flow yoga. Come back, stand up, touch the ground if you need to. Woo! In between moves, come back up, pull the heel, the butt, drop, look over the shoulder, and come back. That one you'll feel in many of the same spots in the big toe and the glute med, but now we're getting a real nice deep stretch in the hip flexor. All right, so now we've talked about moves that you can do in the sauna and some of the reasons that you'd want to do a sauna in the first place. Let's talk about the water, the steam. One of the other types of saunas that I haven't yet mentioned in this video is a steam sauna. I'm very careful with the steam sauna for the same reason that I filter the water in my house. I'm very cautious about water in a steam sauna that might be at a public health club or gym, because I don't know if the water being used for that steam has been filtered or not. And if it hasn't been filtered, I'm breathing in everything that I would normally want to filter in my tap water, such as forever chemicals and little tiny microplastics and the type of things that wind up in a municipal water supply, including just something like chlorine that I don't want to breathe in gaseous form while I'm in a steam sauna. But of course, when you're in a dry sauna, you have the water. Now, this heater is called a Sauna, and if you pay attention to the way that it's built, when I pull water on the rocks, it will actually come out of this vent and shoot the steam down low through the sauna. So what I like to tell people is there's no hiding in Ben Greenfield sauna, because it stays just as hot at the bottom as it does at the top. Now, that's a pretty fancy heater, and again, if you look closely, there's even more of the Himalayan salt balls lining right where the steam is gonna come out. So in Finland, they call the steam the lula. It's like the spirit of the sauna, the lula. And when you put the water on the rocks, and because this video is being filmed, I don't want the cameras to actually like fog up, so I'm just gonna do a tiny bit just to show you. So you hear that sizzle, you see the steam, and as you can imagine, that water actually is a hot vapor that goes into the air that you feel against your skin, and that can induce a lot more of a sweat response. It can feel very good to breathe in. There is no rhyme or reason to how often you dump water on the rocks, but typically, if I want to get a sweat on fast, I will really pump a lot of water through those rocks. The reason I told you this story about the steam sauna is you want to make sure that the water that you use in your sauna is filtered. You may also want to talk to your heat manufacturer to ensure that it is okay to have a little bit of essential oils in the water. In this case, the Sauna does just fine. As a matter of fact, the way they have to test this thing is to spray it down with a hose until everything is completely saturated to test that the oils can withstand that amount of water. So depending on the type of heater that you have, that will influence how much water you can actually use and what you can put in that water. All right, let's get to everybody's favorite topic these days. Where does cold fit in? Well, believe it or not, there's not a ton of research about the magic ratio between heat and cold, how long you do sessions of what are called hot-cold contrast. You stay in the sauna for a certain period of time, you get in the cold plunge for a certain period of time. So here's the way that I do it as a busy guy who's trying to hack time. I'm gonna give you my exact routine. So 2 to 3 times a week in the morning after I work out, I get in an infrared sauna and do a deep sweat. So I'll work out for around 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how much time I have. Then I get in an infrared sauna for 20 to 30 minutes. Almost every single afternoon, I take a quick siesta. I live and die by the siesta. It almost gives me a second day. I put on the sauna before I tuck down for a 20 to 45 minute nap. And then when I get up, I hit the sauna for 15 to 25 minutes, and then I do a 2 to 3 minute cold plunge. That's how my hot cold contrast routine looks. And then for any weekends where I've got a little bit of extra time and I want to connect with my sons, hang out with some friends, we'll do back and forth repeats from the sauna to the cold plunge. And what that looks like is typically 15 to 20 minutes dry sauna, around 1 to 2 minutes cold plunge, 2 to 3 times through. And the reason that's so helpful for recovery and the reason you feel so good afterwards, the reason you often sleep better afterwards, is you get a lot of blood flow. It helps out with the body's thermoregulatory mechanisms, which means you can stay more cool at night. You get in this real relaxed parasympathetic state. You get this great endorphin response. So the idea is that there is no magic rule for hot-cold contrast, but typically for me, any given day, I'm 15 to 20 minutes in the sauna, followed by 2 to 3 minutes in the cold plunge. Try and finish with cold, because what happens when you finish with cold is you burn extra calories, you mobilize extra fat to heat your body back up. All right, now that you know about the benefits of a sauna, some of the subtle nuances of what goes on inside a sauna, some of the ways you can amplify your sauna routine in terms of different exercises and moves, and how to manage the whole hot-cold contrast thing, you're ready to go sweat. Now, if you need help designing a hot-cold contrast routine that fits into an exercise routine, a nutrition routine, a supplementation routine, a biohacking routine, if you want all of that blueprinted for you, then be sure to claim your free call with my company, Triumph Coaching. Right in the caption, you'll see a way that you can do that. In addition, if you would like a sauna, either a prefab or a custom built for you, the company that did mine is Western Soul. Shout out to the guys at Western Soul in Southern Idaho. They did a great job. And finally, if you have other videos that you would like me to shoot that may have nothing to do with a sauna, certain exercise protocols, ways to use certain biohacks, travel tips, sleep tips, anything like that, leave your comments, leave your question, leave your feedback right underneath this video. I read them all. I love to hear what you think, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.